Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Nanda rizkyana from class management 24A. I want to discuss about supply and demand. The law of supply and demand is the theory that price is determined by the relationship between supply and demand. If the supply of a good or service outstrips the demand for it, price will fall. If demand exceeds supply, price will rise. The law of supply and demand is based on two other economic laws. The law of supply and law of demand. The law of supply says that when price rise, companies see more profit potentials and increase the supply of goods and services. The law of demand states that as price rise, customers buy less. Theoretical, a free market will move toward an equilibrium quantity and price where supply and demand intersect. At the point supply exactly meets the demand, suppliers produce just enough of a good or service at the right price to satisfy everyone's demands. Have key takeaways. The law of supply and demand predict that if the supply of goods or service outstrips demand, price will fall. If demand exceeds supply, price will rise. In a free market, the equilibrium price is the price at which the supply exactly matches the demand. Understanding the law of supply and demand help business determine how to set price and fulfill customers' demand while minimizing excess inventory. Have law of supply and demand explained it? The law of supply and demand describes how the relationship between supply and demand affects price. If a supplier wants more money than the customer is willing to pay, items will most likely stay on the shelf. If the price is set too low, customers will be eager to buy the items, but each item will be less profitable. The law of supply and demand is based on the interaction between two separate economic slabs. The law of supply and the law of demand. Here's how they work. The law of supply. The law of supply predicts as a positive relationship between pricing and supply. As price of goods or services rise, suppliers and increase the amount they produce. As long as the revenue generated by each additional unit they produce is greater than the cost of producing it. Seeing a greater potential for profit, new suppliers may also enter the market. For example, price of lithium and other metals used in batteries have soared as sales of electric vehicles have increased. That has encouraged mining companies that export to source of lithium and expand production existing mines in order to increase the supply and generate higher profits. To tone anticipation hook demand for tickets, promoters aim to maximize the supply by booking the biggest venue possible and offering as many tickets as they can at high price as the supply of tickets run out. The price of second-hand tickets as the supply of tickets run out, the price of second-hand tickets rise and see those the supply as casual fans who bulk tickets at the least price see the opportunity to resell them at a higher price. As a result, they enter the market as new suppliers. And then have the law of demand. The law of demand says that rising price reduces demand, so as prices rise, customers buy less. That's particularly true if that can substitute cheaper goods when the famous musician comes to town. Not everyone might be able to afford a ticket even if they like to go. So, if the theater sets price too high, fewer people will decide it's a worthwhile purchase, and the show organizer will be left with empty seats. Fans who want to resell their tickets may need to lower their asking price. Some people might decide to see another artist instead if those tickets are cheap. Now, as the equilibrium price at the price point, supplier produce just enough of a good or service to satisfy demand, and everyone who wants to purchase the product can do so. In practice, of course, balancing supply and demand is more complex, as supply and demand fluctuates. The equilibrium price can vary over time. Furthermore, the law of supply and demand assumes that all other factors that can affect pricing remain constant. In reality, that's often the case. For example, fluctuating production costs or supply chain problems can impact on pricing. Why is the law of supply and demand important? Business success is an any competitive market depends on accurately assessing supply and demand. Every company that launches a new product needs to determine how much of the product to make and how much to charge. A business that manufactures so much of a product or sets prices higher than consumers will be paid can easily find itself with product. On the other hand, understocking or setting price too low reduces profit and can drive away customers who can wait for big orders to be fulfilled. Demand forecasting can help business determine the optimal supply level and find the equilibrium price, the price at which the supply just meets customer demand. And four basic laws of supply and demand is: 1. Price fall when supply increases and demand remains constrained. 2. Price will fall when demand decreases and supply remains constrained. 3.